on your what we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party.
Peace and love, party people. It's Talib Kweli, the BKMC. This is the People's Party. It's the world's best podcast. We have a good time over here. Give it up to my lovely and talented, beautiful, thought-provoking, thoughtful co-host, Jasmin Leigh in the place to be. What up, Jasmin? How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing.
This man right here is one of the best lyricists hip-hop has ever heard. In terms of me personally, I've been personally influenced by this man's dedication to the craft and the songs he's made. I wrote a list once of the greatest verses of all time, and this man's verse, I don't remember if it was number 2 or number 3. It was after Rakim though. Rakim got number 1, but you know what I'm saying? Like this man has crafted verses in a way that make other MCs shake and shudder. We are talking about a man who is part of one of the greatest hip-hop collectives ever, and not just a vital part of one of the greatest hip-hop collectives of all time, the Wu-Tang Clan. He was on Protect Your Neck. He was on Triumph. He was on Can It All Be So Simple. In a massive rap family, he's often looked at to set things off or to back cleanup. He's focused on gritty street talk, raw emotion, conscious lyricism, and a true love of hip-hop. He's a legend. 8 albums with the Wu-Tang Clan, 4 solo records, a 5th one, Chamber number 9 on the way. He got 7 records with his group, Czarface, a supergroup with the people from Boston, Massachusetts, 7L and Esoteric, a producer, a writer, just an all-around artist, a blessing to the culture. It's my honor and my privilege to welcome to this show the Rebel Lioness, Inspectah Deck from the Wu-Tang Clan. Let's go.
Yes. That was a hell of an intro, bro. That was a nice intro.
You've done a hell of a thing in this rap game, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Salute to all the people that tuned in, checking out my brother do his thing, man, using his platform for greater things. That's love, you know what I mean? Thanks for having me.
With your focus on lyricism, and I tend to focus on lyricism myself, isn't it strange that in this era, what's more valuable in the marketplace a lot of times is us sitting down and having these real talks and these conversations, because people, the attention span is so short that they're not really grasping the rhyme sometimes.
Yeah, when we came up, it was all about that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you had to really stand out from the other guy. You didn't want to, you not only didn't want to sound like him, but you didn't want to dress like him. We were wearing the same clothes, but you wanted to wear yours a little different. I know dudes who ripped the Pumas who ripped the stripes off their side of their Pumas growing up, and had them just looking like some ill suede joints. So now it's so money driven. It lost the craft. For me, I'm from the school of gladiators, so I'm in the yard like Leonidas. I'm practicing, I'm swinging the pole, I'm using the sword, I got the chain and ball, I'm practicing different weapons. You got hip hop is bigger than just rapping or just trying to rhyme to a beat, you know what I'm saying, in my world.
Yeah.
So, I listen to the greats you said, like Rakim, the Biz Markies, the Kanes of the world coming up, Cool G Rap, who's one of my top 5 favorite ever, just wanting to be that, wanting to, when we saw Run DMC, we wanted to get some Adidas, you wanted the Fat Gold chain, we influenced each other, and we took the nothing and created something, and that's why I think the lyrics meant more to us, because it meant more to struggle. Wasn't none of us driving around in Wraiths at the time, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody paying $4,000 mortgages.
Word.
We, you know what I'm saying? So
yes,
it came from here. That's where all the dancing, graffiti, and that's where everything came from. The expression. So now that it's money driven, I'm in the studio now, bro. I can find a sample or pull out some instruments, make a beat, mix it, record myself, write the rhyme here. I could have a song to you in a day after this conversation. Right. that's the times we're in right now, and I can actually put it out and market myself right after that. So everything is coming like it's microwave. I'm from the era when grandma or auntie and them was in the kitchen cooking, and you take your time, you smell the food, you had to get out the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You had to wait till it was done. Yeah, you couldn't even taste nothing.
Don't put your hands in nothing.
Biscuits is done already. Can I get? Nah. You gotta wait for the plate. So, that with that mentality, that's how I apply like things to my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Patience, take your time with things, there's no rush. I'm not in no race with nobody. So, and that's why I probably, never sold the amount of records that other people had sold and things of that nature, because I stuck to what I felt growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like the music and the times and, the players that was on the field. And, I think that's, and I could speak for 90s generation. Like that's what it meant to us. Like your style was your own. Like there was no other like Busta Rhymes when he was into his thing and he was Dungeon Dragon and the braids was flying. You know what I'm saying? Like we loved all that. We loved the characters. We loved the Missy Elliott came with the,
Hype Williams, the suit, right.
Yeah, it's so much innovation and creativity in our music that we have to dumb down in order to, quote unquote, get the bag. Like, I'm kind of sick of the slogan, man. Like if you getting money, you getting money. People that get money, rich people don't talk about they riches in all reality. I've been fortunate to be around people, doing this has brought me in touch with different people. So I've met these millionaires and billionaires and these types of people and see where their thoughts are and see what they think. They're on a different playing field, and to brag about things like we have this much. The richest one of us. We got this much on this planet, bro. So, that's why I use my platform. I didn't like gloat about a whole bunch of things or use it to talk a whole bunch of gangster tales. I'm no killer. I'm no gangster. Never tried to be. You know what I'm saying? Did a lot of gangster shit to survive. I'm more of a survivor than anything. I'm a black man surviving this planet, and that makes you tough in every area. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
And that's how I went about my music.
Yeah, I've heard you speak about everything you did to come up. Beyond your verses, because if you're a fan of your verses, especially in like songs like C.R.E.A.M, you detail certain aspects of your life. But you talked in interviews about selling tokens, the old school tokens is 60 cents, and you was selling for 70 cents. And that's a real, you was talking about specific New York hustles. You know what I'm saying? And you're from a very, very New York place in the world. Park Hill, Killer Hill.
Killer Hill.
Method Man is from there, Ghostface, Raekwon, right? So what do you remember about meeting everyone in your first interactions with people in Park Hill?
Yeah, man. Park Hill is an interesting place. Like, first and foremost, I got to give love to the Boogie Down Bronx. That's where I was born.
Yes.
I was born in the BX.
In the birthplace, the official birthplace.
Yeah. Bronx, Lebanon Hospital. You know what I'm saying? Lived on Kingsbridge Terrace. Moved to Staten Island early. Get away from the Bronx. Bronx was hectic. 70s Bronx. 70s Bronx was real. Came to Staten Island to get away from it. I guess my mom had people out here. And, it's just... Staten Island was the same kind of struggle as everybody else. I'm not going to make it seem like it was so special. But, what made it unique in its own way is that we're not connected to the rest of the city. So it's like the 4 boroughs and Staten Island. You know what I'm saying? There's no real trains. You got to take a ferry. You got to do all types of things just to get to Manhattan or Brooklyn. We're connected to everybody, so we're able to get influence from, Jersey. We used to hang out in Newark, Sensations, Zanzibar, way back.
Zanzibar's, wow. You took me back with that one.
Yeah, like before rap. It was, you went to the club and get your thing on, that's when Union Square and, Latin Quarters and all these New York clubs. But, like just with all that being said, man, like just the whole travel of it all, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole travel of it all for me just puts me in an interesting place. Like, I don't know, you, it's a gift and a curse, It's a gift and a curse. That's how I can sum it up.
Also in another interview I was watching, you was talking about how you was a class clown, and you was also talking about how you used to cut school, but still always get 100 on the test. And I related to that.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Shit, like I'm saying, Staten Island is so small, we isolated from everybody. Mm-hmm. We ain't in tune. We had to go out and grab the style and fashion kicks, haircuts, and bring it back here. Then you would be somebody, because you looked a little different. But, the hustling tokens, selling water, all those type of things, you know what I'm saying? Like, growing up out here is so different because you can fight somebody today and you have to see them tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no escaping, no getting around it. And it forced you to be that type of dude. It's like, so when we travel, we would go to Manhattan, we would go to Bronx, we would go to Queens. We have to have 10, 15 dudes because it was like, oh, you from Staten Island? Yeah, Staten Island soft and smiling. That's what they knew about Staten Island. Little did they know, like this group of dudes, we wasn't with that. You know what I'm saying? We going all out for the cause. So, and it's like, I think that's what gave us that difference. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I could be wrong, but if you walk up against somebody in New York, you can he look like he's from Brooklyn. He look like you can't really tell a Staten Islander because the Staten Islander had to take bits and pieces from the whole city. You know what I'm saying?
There was a time though, when Wu-Tang first came out, first dropped, when y'all were just smothering in the whole city to whereas you could, because it felt like people from Staten Island just waved the flag. Like people stopped in hip hop spaces, stopped calling it Staten Island and just started straight up calling it Shaolin.
Yeah, the influence was big, bro. Like I had no idea. Like, we was pushing the album out the trunk and, traveling, going up and down the East Coast from Baltimore to Florida to ATL, things of that nature, putting the music out, trying to spread the word and things of that nature. Love to Run DMC and people like Ultramagnetic, Positive K, people like that helped us along the way, Ron G, Kid Capri, just to push it, to get it out there in front of people. And that's kind of what was driven. Like when we looked at it, it's like we got somebody that represents somebody from everybody's hood. Like when you growing up, like somebody like Ghost, somebody like Ray, somebody like Meth. And I think that's what helped us touch and break that gap. Like 1 minute we selling stuff out the car, going from state to state in the MPVs that you saw in the C.R.E.A.M video.
Right.
We go from that to we catching jets to Paris. Like the album dropped and we go do an album release at Trafalgar Square. We do album releases at Webster Hall. And for me, I could just remember like growing up hip hop, seeing Q-Tip and Eric Sherman and everybody that, that you love and admire that's coming up for me, like being an MC, seeing all my peers in the building, like there to support us, like that was one of the craziest feelings ever. You know what I'm saying? Me coming from little Staten Island, we so isolated, and now we just blew up into this group where, if you remember, nobody really saw our faces in the beginning. We had the stocking caps on. We was just some grimy, naughty head dudes from the island.
Right. And, it was a feeling. It was more about the feeling and the collective as far as the individual personalities at that time.
That's what music does,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now Wu-Tang, one of the foundations of Wu-Tang is obviously 5% Nation of God's and Earth's the philosophies, the beliefs. Can you tell me when you got the knowledge and joined the 5% Nation and what it means to you nowadays in today's times?
Yeah, for me, I've never officially joined any type of organization or anything like that. But, when I came across Papa Wu, Papa Wu was somebody that when he spoke to me, nobody ever spoke to me like that. Nobody ever wanted to tell you that, hey, did you know that you can control all things in your universe and, you're the master of your cipher? Like, nobody told you that? Like, growing up in the hood and growing up, hustling, doing what you do, nobody really, without a father. My father died when I was 6, so it's like hearing him speak was like hearing your father speak. And, just telling you things that, you need to know these things about yourself. You need to know this. And then meeting RZA and meeting, RZA and these brothers who are deep involved, you know what I'm saying? Every day, building with them, hearing things, learning, putting things, like for me, I never invest my whole life into something like that. I take what I can from it and apply it to the life I'm living. So,
that's similar to me. You and me are similar in that way because everybody I roll around with and everybody I've known to make music with is either Muslim or 5%. And I got a Muslim name as well. So people think that I'm Muslim or that I'm 5%. And I'm similar to you. I feel that everything you just said, that's exactly how I deal with the world. Yeah.
You take the truth and you wear it like a suit, we take whatever we can that makes sense to it. And that's what we apply. For me, I can't describe how another person's gonna live their life anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm just more or less I go about, sometimes I got blinders on because I know what my focus is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you don't really pay attention to what's going around you, you can be caught up in, sometimes you have to see, when they say you traveling so fast, you don't get to see the horses and the cows and shit when you're moving 100 miles an hour. So it's I had to learn, I need to see those. You know what I'm saying? You can't be traveling at such a magnificent speed and not see all things. You know what I'm saying? And that's lessons that, I would come around Papa Wu, RZA, Jizza, they would always give me a lesson, a lesson a day. Then DJ Mathematics. A lot of these brothers have righteous names. They chose attributes. That's why I never said, or my name is this or my name is that, knowing that I'm not fully pledging my life or fully dedicating myself to this way of life or this lifestyle. I'm just taking the knowledge and the lessons from it and applying it to me, which in turn allowed me to, make myself godly in that sense.
Right. Rest in peace to Papa Wu. Definitely.
As you just mentioned, your father died when you were 6 and you were raised by your mom. Right now, in a time where Black women are finally getting attention paid to them for the incredible work they do in the community across America, what lessons did you learn from your mother, and what struggles did you see her go through when you were coming up?
Man, I be feeling dudes is crazy, man. People crazy. I don't know what's going on, man. I love my Black women. I love all my Black women, going from my grandma, my aunties. I grew up with a bunch of women in my family. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the men, weren't around, whatever they were doing. A couple of my uncles were in jail growing up, things of that nature. But I watched a bunch of strong women. My mom's was like She-Hulk. She threw 3 kids on her back when my pops died and just did what she had to do. Did the 2 jobs, she do shit wouldn't eat to make sure the kids eat, sacrificing and things of that nature. I can't even describe the lessons that my mom taught me without even saying anything. Just, she never reached for a whole lot. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. I'm not gonna walk around. I'm not gonna ask 10 people for $5 because I need $5. I'm gonna get this $5 though. And that was my mom's mentality. So for me, I apply that to my way of life. I don't sell millions of records in my solo career. I don't got the hot 5 at 9 or the hot 9 at 5 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I learned to use that deuce and that 5 of hearts and the cards that's in your hand. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta bluff. Sometimes you gotta go all out. It's poker, you know. So, you know, I learned, but I learned not to chase a lot of things. You know, growing up the way I grew up, hustling at 13, like I've done a lot. I've driven a lot of cars. I've seen a lot of women. I've touched substances. You know what I'm saying? I've been jaded with all of this stuff. So it's to the point now where I could look at it like a snake charmer, you know, and I'm just blowing my pipe, and I got all these snakes dancing in front of me. Like the snake we don't worry about the snake no more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you have to learn in yourself. Like, I forgive you. It's basically discipline. It's discipline. You know, I learned that when I went to jail. Saw the whole jail environment for the first time, really doing time with killers and murderers, and seeing how I gotta survive, knowing that you gotta know if he's with him, and you know you can fight with this dude, but then that's his cousin over there, and you know his other man's, that's him from, they about to send you where his other man is at. So, you know, there's so many lessons you gotta know, like on the fly, in the mix of the fire. So, you know, I come from that school. Like, I got taught by being, I learned how to swim by being tossed in the pool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That type of thing. And I think a lot of these kids nowadays are being sheltered from that. You know what I'm saying? They're not feeling the discipline of these parents. I feel a lot of parents are kind of scared of the kids because the kids are wild. You know, like these kids right now don't respect nothing, bro. They'll pop you over the slightest thing. They're not trying to fight. We have to fight.
Our parents said the same thing about us, though.
That's the truth. And you know, if we was young once, if we was young right now in 2020, if I was 20 in 2020, I'd probably be wild too. I'd be out there doing the same thing.
If I was 20 in 2020, I'd be wilding.
Yeah, you know, but we'll be doing it our way. It's probably be a little different, you know, but we'll be doing the same thing, man. So I don't knock the youngsters, man. I wish a lot of them use their platform to really school the other youngsters that's behind them, you know, that's right now waving the gun is cool, being corny, being lame is cool, you know, being cool is corny, you know, like it's a reverse, you know, it's do what you feel, but it's, you know what I'm saying, it's Pandora's box out here, man.
Right.
You know?
Now, as somebody who has experienced jail, you have a unique perspective, and a lot of people talk about jail from a very abstract place. There's a conversation that has shifted, I think, in the mainstream about jail, where you have more abolitionist voices and people who are against mass incarceration and people who understand the realities of the prison industrial complex and how it affects Black people disproportionately. As somebody who has experienced that from a firsthand perspective, do you have any thoughts on how the conversation has shifted, particularly around, you know, the abolitionist stuff, the people who want to defund the police and abolish the jails?
I mean, it's pretty deep because, you know, the abolitionists from the past, a lot of them lost a lot of lives for that, for going against basically the Federation, the Confederation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we, society, I say us, it's not a old or a young thing. I'm just thinking society right now. I don't think we got that temperament that they had. I don't think we willing to die for a lot of shit. And they knew, you know what I'm saying? They knew that, hey, I'm marching down this road. These motherfuckers got guns. They done killed Larry and them yesterday. They will shoot us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they still did it. I mean, this generation in our society right now, it's like we don't want to lose our life for our life. You know what I'm saying? For the lives of whoever's to come. There's a few there's a lot of false prophets. You know, there's a lot of people swaying the interest of the people, you know, for profits. It's so much like chaos and mayhem, and it's like my man Pharaoh Monch. It's organized confusion, man. That's how I look at all this.
Yeah.
Everything was placed there meant to have you out of place or misplaced. You know what I'm saying? Like Dustin Hoffman, Mad City. You know how everything is choreographed. Dude gets shot. I don't know, yo, move the cameras. No. Put the camera on him. Get the blood. Get the drama. Send that right into the living room. You know what I'm saying? It's real out here.
Yeah, this shit.
You know what I'm saying?
This is unprecedented time.
Fear tactics and all that. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. So most you can do is hold your head, teach your kids, try to let them know the truth, you know?
No doubt. Wu-Tang for the children. When you hear the Wu-Tang for the first time, when you hear Protect Your Neck for the first time, hearing that Inspectah Deck verse is what defines what you are about to experience with the Wu-Tang. And obviously the Wu-Tang is a collective. It's made up of very bright, shining personalities who came together for a common cause. But I'm talking about first impressions, brother. You know, if you follow the game of baseball, the man who bat first is the leadoff man for a reason. The team has decided collectively, or at least the people who are in charge, the coach and the manager, whatever, it's like that guy got to bat leadoff for a reason. Right, so you made that first impression like I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier. When you hit that bar, the way you hit that bar, that defined like, oh shit, that was revolutionary. What did it mean to be sort of the leadoff batter of the Wu-Tang and to be the first thing that people heard when they first experienced the Wu-Tang Clan?
Okay, so answer that in two parts. First part is that I didn't realize that till later on. Until I think some fans had brought that to me. It was like, yo, man, like, yo, you set the tone for everything that's, and I was like, yo, I didn't realize that I was really going first all the time.
Okay.
I just knew that I kept a fresh one on the hip. You know, that's back in the days when you had the two-way pages and things like that. We just pulling them out, just boom, 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 just jot your thoughts down. So you know, I kept my two-way pager on fire. And so whenever I would come to RZA house and he would have something ill on, you know, he could just have drums. He'd be like, yo, spit something for me. And I just throw something like, okay, boom, 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 boom. And then I would come back and it would be some totally other shit, you know.
It'd be
like,
chefed up.
Yeah, like, you know, he was nice with that, you know.
I mean, the Wu-Tang is the personalities. You know, you think about comic books when you think of the Wu-Tang, because obviously, like, comic books is also part of the foundation of the mythology of the Wu-Tang Clan, the hip hop group. These personalities were larger than life, but for you, for me as a fan, it felt like you played the role of the straight man more. And Method Man at the end of Can It All Be So Simple, which is another classic that y'all just, oh my goodness. That song is so important to the culture. But at the end, I'm going to quote Method Man. He said, Inspectah Deck, he's like that dude that'll sit back and watch you play yourself and all that, right? And then sit there and know you lying, and he'll take you to court after that because he's the inspector, right? Do you feel like that was pretty much on point and that was a deliberate thing that you was trying to do?
Nah. To touch back on what you just said, though, like, to be that set off dude, I hated that expression for a while.
Okay.
You know, this is just some fanfare right here. Like, I hated that. It's like, yo, you the illest set it off, or you the illest first batter, you the illest, and I'm just like, you know, that's like telling a female, yo, you nice for a girl. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, it's the equivalent of that. So I'm like, yo, man, I'm taking it as an insult. But then, you know, later on in life, I started understanding, you know, the significance of that, or why people were saying that. Now, you're talking about the Meth situation. When Meth said that, I felt like, that's my brother, I love him, but I felt like you stained me with that. You know what I'm saying? Because people look at you at such a high level. You saying that about me, they're going to take that off of face value regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because you know me. So it's like, you know, and part of it's true. I'm a laid back type of dude. I ain't trying to get into a whole bunch of shouting matches or arguing with people, a bunch of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to try to find a solution or just not deal with it, you know what I'm saying? But when he said that, like, they're like, oh yeah, he'll take you to court because he's the inspector. Just like people ran with that.
Like you really taking niggas to court for real.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna sit there and wait for you with the lie too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He know you lying. Like, nah, bro. That's not. You know, at the time we was young. You know what I'm saying? That's how we was moving. I was more quiet than them. They was the loud ones. You know what I'm saying? I moved with a bunch of dudes, and everybody can't be the loud mouth. Some dudes is gonna be the dudes that, you know, he the quiet one. He ain't playing with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. But, you know, I told him that a while back, but I told him a few times, like, yeah, bro, you stained me with that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause now that's what they think. They think that Deck won't get flipped and just whoop your ass out of nowhere because he's just oh nah, you know what I'm saying? He gonna take me to court? Nah, bro. I scrap too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm live too.
Right.
Yeah.
Word.
I definitely can say I'm the loud one in most of the crews I belong to. How close of friends was everyone? Like, were you all constantly hanging out, or were there like little cliques in between the crew?
Yeah, it's like me, Ray, U-God, Method Man, Capadonna. We all come from Park Hill. I could say more of me, Capadonna, because, you know, Ray came from Brooklyn, U-God came from Brooklyn, RZA, everybody mostly came from Brooklyn. You know, RZA and Dirty, that's where they're from too. Master Killer as well. But as far as the Park Hill side of it, me, Meth, U-God, Capadonna, and Raekwon would go down to Stapleton, which is RZA's neighborhood, where we would meet up with Ghosts. And RZA and Dirty would come from Brooklyn, and we all would click up there. You know what I'm saying? So as far as growing up, I grew up with you know, Ghosts and Ray. Like, we was all in classes together, homerooms, and went to school, different things like that. And, you know, we grew up with RZA and them. RZA used to come to my neighborhood from Brooklyn anyway because he had family out there. So we used to see RZA. I didn't know him at the time. I just knew that, he used to be the dude with the one blue Puma, one burgundy Puma on, you know what I'm saying? with the suede front and you know, the gold chain with the cross back then. Like, you know, his style was smooth. And I was like, this nigga do something. You know what I'm saying? He got to do something. Like, you can't just
like,
be coming out here fresh like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Come right before the come do me days.
Right before that.
Park Hill. It's like, yeah, man. But, you know, like, growing up with each and every one, man, like, I learned different lessons, valuable lessons from everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know, when it comes to, like, you know, RZA showed me a higher level. Like, we went to LA one day to do a track. To do a show. He got an offer to do a track, and dudes was paying him. The money wasn't all that, but what he did, he took the money, brought a keyboard from the Guitar Center that was out there, made the beat in the hotel room, you know, finished the beat off, gave dudes the beat, put the keyboard back in the box, gave him the keyboard as well, because he didn't want to carry the shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that happened that fast. He just made that money, and then blessed them with the keyboard behind it.
Wow.
You know
It's a blessing.
So it was just like, that's how RZA thinks. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of shit is minuscule to him. He's trying to be on a higher level with his way of thinking, and that's what he always try to, you know, and stuff. He tries to give us that jewel. Like, you know, whatever you're doing, man, you know, do it at your full potential. You know what I'm saying? Do it consciously. And you know, that's what I love about RZA. Like, RZA is the same way. You know what I mean? When I speak of RZA, he's kind of the same way. RZA gives you the truth. He don't get all excited. He's not gonna go crazy. He's just gonna give you the facts and then disappear. That's RZA. You know, he gave me one of my biggest jewels. He said, "Yo, if you don't matter whatever you writing, if you writing a story rhyme or you writing some freestyle type shit or you just bragging or whatever, write it in complete sentences. almost like how your English teacher would tell you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I used to do back in the day. Is like English teacher would give you like 15 spelling words. I don't know if they do it now in school, but we used to get spelling words. You had to take them home. Your homework was to write those words in a sentence.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I know I'm old school. It's all good.
I think they still do that. Every school does that.
I wouldn't know.
Like, they don't do that no more, OG. You know? He told me that, and that made a big difference because I was like, yeah, I wrote some old, braggadocious rhyme, but it sounded like I was taking it somewhere from top to bottom, and then I did it with a story, and it was like, oh shit, like, that was one of the greatest jewels that I got for writing, and Capadonna did the same thing for me with like freestyling. He would, he pulled a full length mirror out, and he said, yo, the illest dudes you ever gonna face in life is right there.
Damn.
So it's like you looking in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? So that helped me like get over stage fright, different things that was going on in the beginning of Wu, where it's like, yo, there's 20,000 people out here, bro. You got butterflies. I'm off the street. I still going to see my PO. I'm like, yo, what if I forget my rhyme? Like, you got anxiety, And now he's like, yo, illest dude you gotta worry about is that dude right there. Pointed to the mirror, and I'm looking at myself like, like battle yourself. Battle. If you freestyling right now, if that was your competition, what you gonna say to him? So that was like some ill type of sparring match type of thing that he had me doing. You know what I'm saying? And I still do it to this day. Like be in the mirror, kicking the rhyme to yourself as if you was in the URL, like going at somebody, And U-God. U-God's a hustler. U-God's a straight hustler. U-God taught me how to not fuck up your money. Like straight up. Like there's
important
no
lesson.
sugarcoating. Yeah, don't fuck up your money, man. Why you buying that shit, bro? What you buying that shit for? What you gonna do with that? You know what I mean? You could have bought that. You bought that bullshit. Like straight to it. Like, I don't wanna hear that shit. Like you trying to give him your explanation. I don't wanna hear that shit. And I love him for that, bro, because he's never gonna sugarcoat anything. Anything, I'd come to him and ask him, yo, what you thought about that Talib interview, man? Yo, son, you was talking too long, man. You know what I'm saying? You talking too much. Right. You long-winded, nigga. Shut up. Get to the point. That's my brother. I love him for that. You know what I'm saying? Because he keeps it 100. And he's also very creative, bro. Like people don't know U-God designs clothes. He does all types of things. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like we are the ones that are Inspectah Deck, U-God, Capadonna. You know everybody else, but you don't really know us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Master Killer's another one. Master Killer got introduced to me through RZA. Like U-God, like I said, everybody else I grew up with, but Master Killer got introduced through RZA, and he earned my respect when he came from Brooklyn. Gangster on his own time. You know what I'm saying? Comes out here to us, not knowing nobody, but on the strength of his respect for RZA, he plays the part in Protect Your Neck of the dude getting his head chopped off at the end.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't realize that's Master Killer playing that part at the end.
Yeah, that's Master Killer playing that part. And the quick story about that whole scene is when I met him. That was his words, bro. I ain't no nigga that be getting his head chopped off in no videos, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't even play me like that. But then, just I asked him, and he said, yo, I'll do it for the cause. For my brother, I'll do it for y'all. And that was like, I felt that. I knew beforehand he was gonna say that. Like, this ain't the getting his head chopped off dude in the video. I'm telling you, man, me looking at that video back in the day, I'm like, yo, these niggas is running around with pistols and swords. I was like,
right.
These niggas had
they special,
these niggas had the timer from the VHS shit at the bottom of the video. Like, I was like, yo, it don't get more raw than this. I never seen no shit like this. That shit bust my head open when I seen it.
That's when you got to get it out there, man. That's when when the product's so pure, you got to get it out the door. Like, you ain't put it in the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like,
like you said, you had the mask on. I was like, they don't want to be seen. These niggas is wild. Yeah, Deck, hearing you give all your brothers they love and they flowers like that, it just for me as a fan of Wu-Tang and just as someone who loves the culture is just really special. So thank you for sharing all of that with us.
Yeah. Appreciate it, bro.
Now, the song Cream, when that came out, that set that summer on fire. It cannot be overstated the importance of Cream. Cash rules everything around me to the culture.
Dollar bill,
that
y'all.
record, that just the way y'all came with it. Man, the Cream is ill because if you a hustler, if you somebody who don't care about knowledge and being conscious and whatnot, and you just really out there on your grind to get money, Cream could be your anthem. But the way y'all did it was a Trojan horse type of approach, where it's like the hook was very much appealing to people who just care about money. But if you listen to the verses, y'all were really talking about the perils and the pitfalls and everything. And it's one of the first records, the way that y'all talked about the prison system and how it worked, and the way that y'all talked about mental health and depression. You know, I think for a lot of people who were listening to hip hop, at that time, hip hop was mainstream. You could go platinum and all that, but it was still coded language, especially the way that Wu-Tang was coming with it, right? So it's like when you talk about smoking stress and staircases, and I'm still depressed. And, you know, when you're saying those things, I know how it affected me personally. I know I was smoking stress too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I didn't like the way my life was going as well either. To hear it vocalized and crystallized in that way was revolutionary to me. And I want to thank you, and I want to ask you to maybe describe your headspace at the time when you wrote that verse.
Yeah, that verse was, I wrote that when I was young, like before we actually laid it. You know what I'm saying? I had that verse written down for a while, and it was like maybe like 3 verses, like maybe like three 24s. It was long. It's a bunch of shit I wrote. I wrote that when I was locked up. And, you know, it's just one of them moments you have when you retrospect. I'm thinking about my pops, like, damn, if my pops was here, you know, how my life would have been. You know, every teenager at some point, you ask yourself certain questions about which direction you're going to go. Because, you know, it's you could use the force or you could join the dark side, bro. It's that simple. And, like, I was already in the dark side. I was like, damn, I want to use that Jedi shit, you know? Like, I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here. Like, the dark side, the darkness is like, you're blind. You can't see, you know what I'm saying? And people telling you, trying to help you and things of that nature, you're not listening because you feel you know it all. You feel like you out there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I was in that type of space, and it got me locked up. And I'm like, okay, so now I'm in jail. What am I going to do when I get back? Because the same shit's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you go back to the same crew, go back to doing what you do, get you a pack. It ain't nothing to get back on your feet. You know what I'm saying? But is that really what you looking for? So, you know, when I came home, I was like, nah, I'm going to go. I was working as a messenger at Grand Central Station, bro. I was trying to juggle jobs, making it happen. But, you know, the story was always there. So when I heard the beat, me and Ray had went in and did all the verses. Like Ray had some type of mobster shit going on. You know what I'm saying? I had 3 different verses talk about a hooker, a gangster dude, and RZA just was like, yo, it's all scattered all over the place. Let's just find the best pieces, you know. And he was good at that, bro. He was good at, nah, man, if you go second. You know, that you don't go first on this one. You go that way. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he was good at that. So he pieced that together. He took half of this verse, half of that verse, put them together, you know, and made it the verses that everybody knows now. But there's still unsaid bars from that. You know what I'm saying? It's still like another 40 bars worth of that rhyme that's unsaid. And the thing that struck me later, sorry to cut you, was that we hit it when you were saying it could be a drug dealer's anthem. It was a drug dealer's anthem for a while, but it was catchy enough, like you said, to catch the people who was interested in just getting money, who wasn't really trying to live the gangster life or drug dealer life. And that's how we hit it. Like RZA kind of orchestrated it to be that. Like Ray is hitting you from, you know, some gangster shit, like, you know, move from the gate now, you know. And I'm just hitting you like, yo, dog, I'm a young dude out here smoking stress, depressed, wondering, what's gonna happen next. Like looking at my old earth, like, damn, what the fuck? Like, and a lot of people tend to steer away from that. Like I could have said some fly shit to match what he was saying and made myself, to play that part. But I said, nah, a lot of times the hip hop, it doesn't speak for us like it used to. So it's like, there's sometimes chosen voices that like, even yourself, like who like, I don't care about the mold. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's going to be. And even that song in general, Wu-Tang Clan, we could have put out something up-tempo, some knucklehead, throw your guns, Onyx type shit. But it was like, nah, we going to mellow them out and hit them with the cream and give them a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the money may be good, but, at the end of the day, like, I went to jail for it. Ray got popped at, until I got, felt one. Like, we trying to let you really know, like, yeah, bro, it's fly for now. But, the consequences, like death in jail is definitely at the end. It's like, I don't know how many make it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the Goodfellas, Ray Liotta had the witness protection, the house on the beach, right?
He said, I feel like a schmuck. An average Joe, nobody.
He had to live with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He had to live with that. But it's like, then the knock on the door came. Just when you just restarted your life all over again. I know gangster dudes that's like that. Like, the moment you put the gun down and said, you know what, I wanna turn a new leaf and do something else. I wanna make my life right. The op don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? The op is like, yo, you took out 2 of my people, bro. Yeah, it was 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Hello.
After C.R.E.A.M, you said you knew you guys had made it. How did it feel as your career and band went from bum rushing everything to being global rock stars? What was that change like?
Yeah, that's when they started saying Wu-Tang fell off. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's when we fell off. When we made it is when we fell off.
Ain't that interesting how it go like that?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, I remember it specifically because that's when it went from doing, Club Moets in Virginia to doing the AT&T, the MCI Stadium in Baltimore, in Maryland. Like, so it's like, you go from the clubs to the stadiums, like, like you go from being in front of 400 or 500 people to being, 50,000, 60,000 people. And then when you go overseas, it's like, you might get 80 on a Kemp Fest, Might get 80, 100K on the Kemp Fest. So, yeah, man, like all of that.
Kemp is that shit.
Yeah, Kemp is one of the biggest ones ever. So it's like, with all of that, now you trying to come back to the grassroots of everything, and people look at you like, you done made records for other people now. You ain't making it just for the hood no more. It's like right. That's the goal, bro. We making music for the world. When we started out, all I knew was the 4 corners right there. That's all I knew. So it was like, okay, I'm making music for this section of people or this demographic.
But to your point, I was just watching the Punisher on Netflix. And I'm not really a fan of the Punisher comic like that. And I wasn't a fan of the Punisher movies and everything that came out before. But this new one on Netflix with John Barenthal, I really like this one. And I was like, okay, now I get why people fuck with the Punisher when I seen this one, right?
Yeah.
And there was a scene where he's trying to get through to the little kid. And the Punisher, it's some country music. It's some country music, vigilante cop shit. It's not to me, it's not no hood shit. But the little kid he talking to, little kid is having problems in school, little kid sneaking a knife in his book bag, and he wearing a Wu-Tang t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? And the Punisher is talking to the kid. He's like, Wu-Tang, huh? He's like, I'm not into hip hop, but that's that heavy shit. And the way he said it sounded corny and whatnot. But what I noticed was I said Wu-Tang Clan made the type of music, whereas it didn't matter what type of music you was into, you couldn't front on the energy.
Right.
So even if you want some super fucking hillbilly rock shit, you like, oh yeah, I don't like hip hop, but I like that Wu-Tang.
Yeah, I like
you know what I'm saying? And it's like
that's what white people started saying.
Yeah.
Going back to your previous question, like our people started saying, yo, they fell off.
right.
They fell off. When we started hitting VH1s, you know, the VH1 Honors Awards and things of that nature, you know, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's like, they sellouts. It's like we didn't do nothing but sell the same thing that we've been selling from day one. You know what I'm saying? And of course, it's just like now at this age, I can't rap about what I was doing at 25. I'm not living that life no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to your credit, y'all kept the sound and tried your hardest, and I think have been very successful at keeping the sound authentic. Of course, people gonna grow up and everything, but the sound sounds like a Wu-Tang sound with all the projects that you and all your brothers drop. You know what I'm saying? There's always a new Wu-Tang release somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And of course, some music is subjective. We gonna like some albums better than others, but the sound is always consistent and authentic.
Right. And that's basically what we was doing the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Some, like you said, certain things you're gonna like, other things you're not gonna like. Everything ain't for everybody. That's how I can sum that up. But you know, for those who do rock with it, you know, it's just another piece to add to your collector's edition for everything that you journey with us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been 25 years for me. It's also been 25 years for a lot of fans who just grew up with us. You know what I'm saying?
People with Wu-Tang tattoos and all that.
Yeah, they got memorabilia. Like, yo, this is my T-shirt. I got this in '99 when you was at the such and such in, you know, in Lawrence, Kansas. Like, oh, word. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, word.
But, but I be bugging because I'm looking at it like, yo, I remember those. I remember when we made those. Or I remember where I was at when I first touched that shirt. So it, like, a lot of times the fans don't know that, but it's like a lot of that shit is nostalgic for me too. When I see somebody roll up and they got some classic Wu-Tang, like the leather jackets or something like that we put out, like, you know, that just lets me know, bro, like it's bigger than Nino Brown. It's big business, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just glad I could be part of it.
Now, we talked about you have written some of the best verses of all time. Triumph. Your verse on Triumph is arguably one of the best hip-hop verses written of all time. For me personally, it's a masterclass in internal rhyme scheme. It's a masterclass on just how to write a verse. What do you remember about creating those bars and how it shaped your legacy?
Shit. First of all, I appreciate that. A masterclass. That's a nice term.
No doubt.
It's funny because it's two situations with that. I did that on Tony Touch, man. Shout out to my brother Tony Toka.
One of the originals.
Yeah, Toka's always been family with Wu, man. He's always been there for us. I said that on his 52 MCs mixtape with my boy Killer Sim from Killer Army. And it's one of Tony Touch's, you know, hottest mixtapes. I think he re-released it. I called him up because I heard RZA making Triumph one day. It was like 4 a.m. He's making the beat. And I hear the drums and I hear the voices and I hear him playing around with the beat. And I'm just like, oh, he up to that shit. And we had just came up from a tour. Like, dudes was in the house too. They was knocked out. I remember Ghost being there, Meth being there. Everybody was knocked at 4 a.m. But RZA's up. He's in there cooking. And I just sneak up on him and like, yo, I hear that. And so I'm just like, I'm writing. I'm sitting next to him, putting the pen and pad. And as I'm writing, I thought of the rhyme that I said for Tony Touch. And then as I'm saying it to RZA, he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it hit him. He's like, oh shit, like, word? And so I'm like, well, hold up. Let me call Touch first. So let me call Tony Touch and then and just get the blessing on it, man. Because, you know, we from that school. You can't say the same rhyme twice. I don't care. You know what I mean? It didn't matter what capacity, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, I didn't want to say the same rhyme and then not even give son no credit or give him a call. So yeah, man, I had to call Touch real quick and reach out to him, and he gave me the blessing to kick that verse. So then, you know, I told RZA, hey, I'm gonna drop this real quick. And I had to leave that morning. So, you know, RZA threw the beat on. The beat wasn't even complete for me. I just heard the drums, a couple of the voices, some hi-hats, things of that nature. And so I dropped the rhyme. And, you know, maybe about 5-6 days later when I came back, I had heard, you know, other voices on it. I heard, I think, Meth, Cap, a couple of people went in. And it was like, when I bumped into the Ghost in them, you know, it was just more or less like, yo, son, you killed that shit. You bodied that shit. Like, damn, bro. Like, damn, what I'm supposed to say behind that? Like, you know what I'm saying? That? Like, you know. But I was like, word, how it sound? But remember, I rhymed to like the drums and all that. So when I heard it full blast with the other vocals on it too, and the horns, flutes, and everything he got, bro, it was crazy. I heard it loud, like full blast. Like I was like, this is different. This is different. You know what I'm saying? But it was like I remember we were arguing because we didn't want the record to be that long, but he wanted everybody to make sure they got a piece of that. You know? It's
like punk rock hip hop. That shit is just something, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, bro, that's how I felt when I heard the beat. I was like, I don't know what that is, bro.
Right,
but
right.
It sounded crazy. It's like the drums was just different than how he normally come. And then I guess he buys a lot of instruments and things like that. So
yeah, when he got to the violins, it was just like
so he's got strings going here.
Yeah.
He's got this going there. And it's like you might hear one sound come in and then disappear. You don't hear it no more. Like
right.
His technique is crazy, man. And I was like, yo, me jumping in on that first is because I wanted in on that. As I know Ray Ghost gonna get to that one, I need to get in on that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, that rhyme, man. Tony Touch gave me the blessing to say that again, and that rhyme itself was just for I rhyme for different people at different times. Like I did a show at a college one time, and they asked me like, "Yo, why don't you rhyme more, you know, for us college heads?" So I was like, "What you mean rhyme more for you college heads?" And he was like, you know. He's like, I don't know how to say it, like, you know, with big words and things of that nature.
Like a bomb atomically.
Yeah. So, but he was asking me to do that. Like, you know, say some word. Like, basically, you're telling me to stretch my vocab. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think he thought I could stretch my vocab. But I was like, yo, okay. And when I wrote that, it was just, I was thinking Socrates. I might have saw it on the TV or something. And it was just, Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define, like, you know, like nothing you can make up can explain how this body's gonna happen. Like, you know, I kind of saw the visual first and then had to write the script to it.
But you know what that is? The reason why they ask you to do that is because they can't do what you do. Like, they can't speak in street slang and street code. They don't have a code switch. So they just be like, yo, just stay over here. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever code switch and talk to your people.
Yeah.
Stay over here.
Yeah, but you know, do one for me. I got y'all, bro. I got y'all too. You know what I'm saying? I hook everybody up.
You and Lady of Rage both had verses on Tupac's "Got My Mind Made Up" from his "All Eyes on Me" album, and both verses were cut by Pac. And the song ended up featuring Daz, Corrupt, Redman, and Meth. What were you told about it as it was happening?
I mean, recently I heard Pac was hating, man. You know what I'm saying? I heard he was hating, but it's all right. Rest in peace to the soldier, man. Like, I wouldn't have want no problems with me on the track neither at that time. At that time, I was super hungry. And it was like, I'm in the middle of death row and dog pound and all this shit. Like, I'm definitely going to let my name be known. Like, if I get on that track. That's what I was thinking, because it was really for Meth and Red. I was out. It's so funny because I was out there with Meth and Red for the whole weekend when Nate Dogg went at it with BG Knockout. Rest in peace to Nate Dogg. But with that whole scene on the golf course,
that shit's on YouTube.
Yeah. It's a Montel Jordan video. I forget which one it was, but you know, he was the hot dude on Def Jam. Meth and Red was there. I'm in the video for a hot 3 seconds too, just off to the side doing me. But it's like, we out there and we just, you know, stopping by, dropping in on everybody, you know, playing Madden with Snoop and you know, he said, yo, I'm going to Dad's house later on tonight. Meth was like, yo, come through. So I said, okay. I rolled up with Meth. We met Red. Got there, like Daz, RBX, Lady of Rage, you know, his head's in the building. So I'm like, damn, okay, this is I'm thinking smoking blunts and drinking Tanqueray with Dr. Dre, when all of them,
Right.
when I'm thinking we gonna make one of those, you know what I'm saying? And it got to the point it was, Meth and Red said what they said. I guess Daz, a couple other people didn't have their verses ready. Me, I'm ready. I got the 16 on the hip. So I get on the mic, say my thing. It wasn't even planned for me to be on the track. It's just, I got in there. It was like, okay, the mic is open. I just jumped on and said that rhyme, and they was feeling it. So it was like, okay, that's when Rage got in. Rage was like, oh, okay. She must have been like, yeah, if Deck's on there, I'm gonna shoot my shot too. And she came and bodied it right behind me. Then RBX did the same thing. Because I think it was supposed to be like Daz Corrupt featuring Meth and Red or something like that. But it turned out to be this big posse cut that if they'd have left it alone the way it was, I think it'd have been dope, like to have Rage and RBX on there too. But the story I heard was that Pac came home, obviously he signed to Death Row, needed some songs, and was just, getting his snatch on. Hey, this one is you got Meth and Red on there too. Oh, nice. Let me get. And then I guess when he heard everybody else was like, nah, the song is too long or some shit like that. Let me narrow this down or whatever. Just get Meth and Red. You know what I'm saying? My name wasn't the hottest name at the time. I was still earning my name.
Right.
But I still felt like I belonged there.
Wasn't one of your ad-libs left on the track?
Yeah, they took my verse off, but left the ad-libs.
Damn.
I don't know if it was an
cold.
accident. But it just shows that I was meant to be on that track. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
you couldn't even peel me off of it.
Do you have a version of your verse somewhere?
Yeah, I think somebody leaked the original version out there. I heard it on YouTube. So it's poor quality. I don't know if it's the exact original, but I actually heard the version with my verse on it and with Rage and everybody. So I was just like, wow, it would have been dope. Like if we'd have left it like that, mixed it down and possibly put a video together with East and West Coast coming together like that at that time, that would have been major. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm going to go look for that shit. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I heard Pop came and threw that song in the yoke, man, and kicked people off or whatever the case.
I want to thank you for Rec Room. What a powerful, amazing song. That's an incredible era, I think, in music. And that record just, I heard it recently. And it was like, I was like, that shit stands the test of time. Now with Uncontrolled Substance, that album was highly, highly anticipated. Is it true that it got pushed back because of a fire in RZA's basement?
It got pushed back basically because of a flood. It was a flood in RZA's basement. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, he had, when you doing you producing, you got we didn't take care of our stuff, basically. You know what I'm saying? Had a lot of discs on the floor, had a lot of things that in places it shouldn't have been. But, the flood happened as a fluke, Yeah. The thing is, like, we had a whole album set. We had the Inspectah Deck album, and we were going to go off of the whole Spider-Man theme, being that, like you said, the first verse from Wu-Tang that became known was, Smoke on the Mic, Smoking Joe Frazier, and I was like, like a neighborhood Spider-Man. So we was like, yeah, we're going to take that type of Spider-Man, and we got this, this mysterious type of theme going to happen with your album. And, we had a couple of beats. Protect Your Neck was actually one of the beats for my album.
You swimming like a fish in water on that beat. I can see why.
Yeah, it's like, it was a whole shit called Not Your Average Flow at the time. And yeah, that, the flood threw me off because I had just signed to Loud at that time. Like, the contract was in motion and I was going to put that album together. And, when it didn't happen, when the flood happened, I took the disc to everywhere. I took them to like IT companies and, people who really specialize in that to try to save those beats, man. But the water damage killed everything. Like, 60 floppy disks. At that time, we was using floppy disks. Like 60 of them just killed it. So it's like I lost all of that production But I was like, you know what? It's okay. I got time. You know what I mean? Let me try to go back. But then at that time, RZA had jumped on to what I believe was Raekwon's album. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it was timing with the flood threw my timing off to the point where, you know, the ship still had to move. So now I had to catch the next opening, you know what I'm saying? And being signed to a contract at that time, you know, I had no say-so over it. So it was like something I had to live through. So I signed in 95 and then I dropped in 97. So by the time 97 came, you know, I had reworked the deal and things of that nature. But yeah, Rec Room was the first single off of that you know, that situation. And I followed up with Word on the Street.
It's a great record.
Yeah, you know, it was me, to be honest, it was me not really knowing how to make records or not really knowing the game, just being an MC, having an opportunity to rap on the wax, and I was famous, having a name. I thought that that's all it took. You know what I'm saying? So I learned the hard way about the system and how things are designed and how the flow of things go by the time it even gets to me. And so that was an eye opener in itself. That's why I don't have the you know, the catalog of albums that maybe Meth has. Meth has 4 or 5, or, you know, Ghost has maybe 6 or 7. You know, I didn't have that type of catalog because a lot of my time I was spending lawyer money, things like that, getting out of these contracts, which, you know, when I learned certain things, like my Wu-Tang contract, bro, I could tell y'all now, I signed that contract blindly, bro, and it was a 9-year deal, you know, and it's like,
damn,
they don't even do 9-year deals, you know, 7-year deal with the option to renew without me, with or without me. So, you know, I opened it there. I never knew that could exist, you know what I'm saying? So now, you know, and you're dealing with your brothers, you're dealing with your family, you think everything is going to be looked out for. And it's like, you know, I had to learn the hard way that this is a business, that my last name is not part of that contract, you know what I'm saying? So everything I'm doing, I'm the hitman. So that's why I approach the shit like that most of the time. I come in, I go first, set it off, and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? You know, when it comes to my solo albums, I try to put more into it. I try to take it other places that I don't get to go with Wu-Tang, like Czarface. Like Czarface is a breath of fresh air for me because, you know, Wu-Tang makes an album once every 8 years. You know? Right.
Yeah, you've been cranking out these Czarface projects.
Yeah, we're cranking out the Czarface because there's a new demographic out there, man. It's not so new, but it's new for me, and that's the skater, stoner population.
Now, how did you link up with them? I know you got records with Terminology as well.
Yeah, shout out to Term. That's my
there's a whole Boston connection going on with you. How did that come about?
Salute the Term first and foremost. Yeah, because, you know, like Term is somebody, I just been a fan of his music. I like his independent grind. Yeah, I like his independent grind. I like what he stands for, the Good Dad Gang, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just a good brother, you know what I'm saying? So his energy, I guess we just connected off of energy. You know, he reached out to me a couple of times, man. He hit me up like maybe 4 or 5 times in the last couple of years, like, jump on this, I need you. And I'm like, yo, bro, it's no price tag, it's no nothing, bro. Like, you know, when it's like that, it's like that. And Esoteric is somebody that I met years ago, man. It had to be like 07. And we did a song called Speaking Real Words. And it was just supposed to be a feature track. You know, it's like, you know, I'm featuring on this track with him. But I thought back then, like, you know, everybody was caught up on Eminem and you know, things of that nature. And this is my guy. He's my Irish brother, you know, and 7L is my Greek brother. And it's like, you know, he used to have this thing where he would say, like, you know, for a white rapper. But, you know, I always told him, man, like, yo, you dope regardless, bro. Like, it's not a white thing. You know, I know when a white rapper is trying to be phony or trying to front with the shit or trying to do something for my approval. Yeah, because you run into him a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's all approval shit. But it's like with him, he knows his history. He knows his facts. He's old school and new school. He did his homework. So now he knows he can speak today. You know what I'm saying? And I like that about him. He very punchliney. He's very, you know, reminds me like a Muhammad Ali with it. You know,
he started his career in the same time I did, around the Raucous, when I was Raucous Fat Beats era. They was getting it cracking in Boston.
Yeah. Boston had a squad, you know, back at OG and his squad. So it's like, you know, and Raucous, I remember seeing y'all down there on Lower Broadway, you know. Like,
yeah.
Just the whole squad. But, you know, from that coming from that type of situation.
You mentioned your affinity for Spider-Man, and you know, you have a whole Spider-Man Peter Parker thing going on. Working with Czarface, y'all got to work with Marvel on Black Panther shit. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. That's all in line back to, you know, like I said, in 2007 we did the song "Speaking Rewards." I ran back up on Esoteric in like 2013, and he was like, "Yo, man, you know, instead of doing a feature, why not do this project?" And it was like, you know, okay, well, what we gonna do? We threw some ideas around, but we needed that name. You know what I'm saying? So we just sat there and brainstormed, and we just like, you know, we like Scarface with the shit, but hey, Czarface. Czar is like, you know, Czar is one of those top positions in any game. The lore of it all was like one of my favorite dudes is MF Doom, right?
Yes, indeed.
And the way he go about his shit, he's in a lane by himself. I love that. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to conform to the normal. So it was like, yo, we can join. We need to get in that lane. You know, there's not too many people doing that anymore. You know, and putting that whole idea together, it was like, yo, pop culture, all the stuff that we love, that we grew up with. You know, whether it was the Saturday morning cartoons. You know, Wu-Tang, we went to the karate era, but, you know, there was so much more to that than just that karate era. You know, it was WWE, it was, you know, Jim the Anvil Neidhart and all of that. So, you know, we was like, we're going to capitalize and bring all of that back to people. Like, you know, the interlude from the Super Friends. And, you know, you're hearing things that if you're 30 and up, 35 and up, you know, you're going to hear something that rings a bell. Like, oh, wow, I remember that. I ain't heard that in ages. So, you know, like that, with that, we took that Marvel approach. Like even my guy, Lamore Supreme, he took the Jack Kirby artwork and flipped it into making us our own character. And you know, the took all of that Stan Lee and put it, kind of stamped it with his drawings, you know. So that kind of tied it together. And, you know, we put out action figures, we got comic books, we got a whole line of different merchandise and different type of things as far as that goes. And, you know, it turned out to be a good decision, man. It turned out to be a good decision to do that. You know, I got 5 projects out with Czarface, as well as 3 instrumentals. You know, you can get the instrumental project as well and write your own beats if that's how you feel. But, you know, it's like in between that, I sprinkle them with, you know, a couple of projects. Cynthia's Son, you said Chamber Number 9, things of that nature, keep my name alive. But like I said, I'm not, at this stage, at 50 years old, I'm not trying to be the most gangster, the richest, the flyest, all that shit, man. You know, I'm just playing my part and doing what I gotta do to make sure, you know, that my kids are good. You know, any day I can get taken out of here, I want. You know, we put the gas in our kid's name and then fuck up the gas bill and ruin their credit from birth, right? You know what I'm saying?
Word.
You know, I wanna put some real shit in my kid's name. You know what I'm saying? So that, you know, God forbid I get taken out, it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we try to stay away from it. It's backwards, bro. Like I be looking at all this shit like it's so backwards, man. But you know, you should try to take the best of it.
You look great for 50. Black
50,
don't crack.
bro.
You're supposed to say he looks great anyway, not looks great for 50.
All right, speaking of working with white rappers, you are a very pro-black artist. I'm a very pro-black artist. I've gotten pushback from white rappers recently for being pro-black. So I want to ask you being such a publicly pro-black person, have you ever gotten pushback from white fans who say you racist? And what do you think is the responsibility of a white fan or a white participant in hip hop when it comes to pro-blackness?
When I that's a trick question. It's a tough question to answer, but I can answer like this. Like when it comes to pro-blackness and hip hop, I don't think that they have a stance or they have a input on that. I can't accept like a limitation or any type of dictation that's going to limit me or for anything for that matter associated with my personal pro-blackness of being, as I said, 50, walking this earth for 50 years, my experience of being a black man. My pro-blackness is not a kill whitey pro-blackness. You know what I'm saying? My pro-blackness is just what it is, pro-black. I'm for me and my people who've been suffering for so long to finally get a chance and get up and do what it is we're meant to do. Right. So pro-black meaning I support Talib Kweli for, stepping out the game and getting into the podcast and having one of the top podcasts out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pro-black. That, Yeah, that type of pro-black, bro. Like, I'm, I try to stay away. Like, my lady, she tells me don't read the comments. I try to stay away from them comments. I've been called racist. I've been called, all that, man. But, I named myself after Chuck D, the rebel, so. That's right. That's how I just feel. I understand society. I understand the system. I understand all the shit we're going through, so I don't try to force my beliefs on anybody else, nor do I let anybody force theirs on me. I try to have the most intelligent conversation I can have about them type of things. And I've been called racist too, just because, maybe it's something I said or I don't know. Cause I was trying to make an excuse to say I've been called racist because, but when I think about it, there's no real reason. Like, it's just however they felt that day. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know my track record, I got white family members. I got Jewish uncles. I got, what I'm saying? My family is mixed. Like, nobody here is from one solid bloodline. That's right. That's right. So, I don't trip off of that, but I get that heat and I understand it. And I'm just like, yo, bro, you entitled to feel how you feel. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to waste time chasing me down to tell me that, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. That's where we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? We got a problem with that. You're entitled to say what you want. Don't chase me down. Follow me platform to platform.
Oh my God.
Interrupting my regularly scheduled program, with your commercial for bacon, bro. You're selling me bacon. I'm buying that.
Right. So. There's a swine-free zone over here.
Amen to that. Trolls have nothing but time, and it is really crazy that they literally will follow you from platform to platform. If I bother you that much, then leave it at Twitter or leave it at Instagram. We don't need to be on my Facebook still talking the same trash. It's ridiculous.
Don't respond. You respond, they'll be there.
They will.
That's real talk. I know that better than anybody.
You go to war with these dudes all the time, bro. I'd be like, I can't do it. I be wanting to. Sometimes I want to. I'm like, you know what? Somebody in the comments is going to speak for me. Yeah. Sometimes I say that. Yeah. Like, somebody's going to say exactly what I want to say, but it ain't got to come from me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Word. As I was talking about in the beginning, I've binged Wu-Tang American Saga. We've had RZA and Meth both on here and asked them how they felt about their casting. So how did you feel about Joey Badass playing you?
Oh man, I felt like that was dope, man. Like, I got a chance to speak to Joey before that. And, he was telling me like, yo, he got the offer to play that part. And I was like, yo, so how you feel? How you want to do? He was like, yo, I'm gonna do it. But he was basically checking with me. Mm-hmm. Like, is it cool with me? Like, did I co-sign him? I'm like, bro, like, yeah, like, I love your work. I love what you do. You remind me of myself when I was younger, your style. And so I said, yeah, bro, do knock it out the park. And so you might have to cut your dreads, you might have to cut your joints. But, he was like, all right, that's what's up. But I was like, yo, you got my blessing for him to do the part. But I didn't know that it was going to take him 6 episodes to get in. You know what I'm saying? It took six episodes for him to show his face. But, you know, I heard season 2's got a lot more good stuff in store, though.
And, ready for season 2.
Yeah, I'm happy that the people loved it like that. I'm happy that the people liked it enough to give it another season.
So have you visited the set or the writer's room?
I breezed through like a while back when it first started, you know what I'm saying? But I was able now to, for season 2, I was able to do a Zoom conference with the writers and give them a lot more input on, you know, basically things that happen in my life and for the time frame that they're aiming for. So, you know, hopefully they'll squeeze some of that in there, you know, some of the things I was doing, whether it's working or you know, like you said, hustling the tokens. That would be a dope scene to put in there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All New York know that one.
Shout out to Method Man with the old New York t-shirts. I'm about to go buy one of them t-shirts he got.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Meth in general, bro. I like he's one of my inspirations, bro. Like, you know, he's changing his life. He changed his lifestyle.
Oh yeah, he looked like a superhero.
And he's killing
he looks like
it.
A black action figure right now,
Yeah.
bro. And I told him, like, yo, I'm proud of that shit. Like, you know, because it's like we're I won't say we old men, but we grown men now. You know, what I'm saying?
Seasoned men.
Yeah, we're at a stage in our life where you know you have to what you do for yourself has to do for others in return. Like, you know what I mean? Like it has
and
to
you and Meth
fall down the chain
have a
of
very unique lyrical relationship. Y'all got a cold 1-2 punch. Like y'all are on a lot of records together. And it's a good feeling to hear you and Meth one right after the other.
Yeah, like people don't know, like before Wu-Tang, before we hooked up with RZA, me and Meth used to take trips up to the Bronx to record with my guy Funky G and the Disco Tizers. They used to bring their systems out back in the days and do block parties and all that out here in Staten Island, you know what I'm saying?
Real hip hop
Kind of like Divine Sounds was for Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, they used to come out there and provide that sound system. We were trying to make a little group before we were Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? Myself and Method Man. Ugar was still locked up at the time. But we was taking trips up there, man. They had us doing like R&B records, things of that nature. And we was like...
That was the era though. That was the era.
Yeah, you know, it was kind of like right there on the cusp of like, you know, Q-Tip with Bonita Applebaum and stuff like that. So, you know, he was trying to get us to make them type of records, and we was just like straight from the sewer. Nas Effects, like, you know what I'm saying?
Word. The sewer. Steak like
straight
manure.
from the sewer. we didn't want to hear that. That's what EPMD was calling the crossover at the time.
Right.
You know? Like
Keep that crossover. Word.
Yeah, we didn't want to come out and be them dudes. So, you know, we was like, yo, man, we can't. We stopped going up to the Bronx. And we was like, yeah, damn, what we gonna do, man? But Meth was always, one thing about Meth, I could tell people, Meth was always that dude. Like, we knew he was gonna be that dude. Like, even on the block hustling, the car come by, he got rhymes, any beat, whatever you playing in your car when it drive by, he could spit 6 bars to it until it fade away. You know, he would bang on his leather jacket, get the dope snare, hit the zipper, be scratching.
That's a new one. That I like that the zipper with the scratch. I've heard of that. I ain't heard of the snare on the leather jacket though.
Oh, you hit a nice leather with the bare hand. You know, you get the snare. So, you know, he was nice with that. And then to top it off, he can do that and rhyme at the same time. For me, I jack the beat up somewhere, like, you know, hand-eye coordination be jacked up. But
now I want to talk to you about definitely about production. You know, with Uncontrolled Substance, when it got pushed back, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it finally did come out, it had a lot more of your production on it, right?
Yeah, Uncontrolled Substance. Yeah, see, I was trying to save myself, bro. Like, you know, this true story. RZA was busy at that time. He was getting phone calls every day. You know, it was right there at the height. You know, Purple Tape was out. I think Dirty's album was out. Meth's first album was out. I think RZA might have been out at the time. So it was right there at the height of everything. So me getting pushed back because of the flood, and then another thing happened too, whereas, you know, after I finally had that first album in pocket, Loud got dropped from RCA. RCA got dropped from BMG. And Sony picked up all the contracts. And next thing you know, I'm on Relativity through Sony with Fat Joe, Crucial Conflict, Gangsta Boo, Nas, all types of motherfuckers, like, waiting for this album to come out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, yo, I can't believe I signed in 95.
Yeah.
And it came out in 99?
97.
It came out in 97, but it's
97.
like, you talk about pushback, bro. Like, I went through all types of hell for that album to come out. And then it's like, by the time I got to it, the beats were gone. RZA's on the road. Clan is kind of, all over the place. So I'm in the studio with my own budget trying to put this album together with like 40% knowledge of the game, And that's kind of where I just put my head to the boards, and I produce, Elevation. I produce Word on the Street. I just started trying to make certain things happen for myself, and teaching myself how to do it at the same time, but struggling with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, had I would have had 12, 13 song RZA produced album, we might be having a whole different conversation right now. That's like winning that Super Bowl ring. That shit would have guaranteed it platinum at that time. It's a gold album. It could be approaching 800, 900,000 somewhere. But for the most part, had I would have had that push, had I would have had that cosign in the beginning, we could be having a different conversation. But it's like, I never complained about shit. I didn't, you robbing me. It wasn't none of that, bro. I just went back. I fell back and had to learn, rather than complain or talk about I ain't getting enough fish, I had to get my own rod. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
I was like, okay. In the background, I started, lawyering up to learn the game, to learn, okay, what is intellectual property? What is mechanical royalties? What is all this stuff that you need to know? What is returns? You know what I'm saying? So and then when I learned these terms and phrases, and the scary part, because the scary part is hearing the term. You read the contract and there's a word like herefor so ever if.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like 5 words put into one. Like, that's the shit that scared you to death. But it's like, once you understand what that means, it just means if that happened.
Right.
You just told me that.
You could have just said that. It means we take your paper. If that happens.
We pay the lawyer, and the lawyer tells us that. You know what I'm saying? The lawyer tells us, oh, well, that just means if that happens. But meanwhile, he's getting $400 an hour. I mean,
that's what ignorance is about. I mean, all we really pay for is what we don't know, right?
Exactly. You pay for what you don't know. And the more you don't know, the more you're going to pay for it.
The more you pay out.
Like, that's life. So when I started, like, I learned this, man, like, YouTube, Wikipedia, I won't say YouTube, Google, and you could say Wikipedia with a combination of certain other areas. That's the new college.
Yes. I learned so much on YouTube.
For kids coming up right now. Yeah, if I'm 12, 13, you really want to homeschool yourself, everything is right here.
But you still need a good teacher. You still need a good teacher. You still need some guidance, because the algorithms will take you down the wrong path. You start spitting some nonsense that you're seeing on a YouTube channel and be like, no, it's real.
Nah, that's
and then you deep into conspiracies.
I got the answer for that though. The key to all of this shit, bro. And y'all gonna remember Inspectah Deck said it.
All right,
it's the damn search box, man. Mm-hmm. If you learn how to pimp the search box, you can find anything, and you can avoid a lot of shit.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's all in what you word. It's wordplay. It's keywords and things of that nature. Like, I had to learn that just by observation. I'm Inspector. This is what I do. I'm just
right.
You know, I'm
you
peeping
sit back
it.
and catch them in the lie.
Yeah. You know, sometimes some motherfuckers is nice with it, so I gotta double check them facts. But yeah, like I taught myself how to make beats off of YouTube, Logic 9 videos, man. Like I taught myself how to mix and how to understand not just turning the volume up and down, but understand what the decibels are and what that mean. There's notches there. You slide and faders, but you got to understand, like you only need a 0.5. Like I learned that type of thing, and it helped me expand my music. And like I said, you can record, do beats, and do everything in one day in this day and age. So it's like, I'm able to produce, record, and do everything myself, put it out through my own channels. And even if I sell 40,000 records, I made $400,000.
That's right.
And that's simple math. You know what I'm saying?
Do the math.
You can do that. Yeah, if you do that once a year, you're making more than the highest paid job is making. That's real for me. Like, don't be fooled by the chain, bro. I'm frugal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not impressed by a whole bunch of things. I don't have this crazy lifestyle. I could take a $50,000 check, and a $50,000 check will work for me like it's 100, like it's 150. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I can squeeze, I can lemon juice that shit all the way down to the last seat.
That's what the hustling. That's what the hustling teach you, right? How to double up.
Yeah, it teach you how to double up and how to not, you can't miss the opportunity neither. Like I hear so many people talking about the bag, right? But you'll miss the opportunity, or you'll sacrifice something worth more than that bag, and that's what I see too much of right now. Like, yo, man, like you almost lost your life for how much they said? They was only giving you $1,300. That ain't even enough for the hospital bill, bro.
At all.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a jewel right there,
ain't
bro.
even taking care of that. So, I try to, like I look at people like, I look at Nas, like, where Nas came from and where he's at now, making smart investments. And, you don't have to have $1 million. Like, saying you can invest $1,000 in an E-Trade account. You know what I'm saying? And double your money the legal way. Just learn the game. You know what I'm saying? You got people that sit there and watch stock meters fluctuate all day on 6 TVs, surround sound, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they made millions off that shit. You know what I'm saying? They understand the game, they understand the art. But I'm saying for somebody like myself, who doesn't have, like I said, a bunch of hits on the chart, and it's this crazy lavish budget of shit, I take bread, I put it into mutual funds, I put it into different type of stock options, to where if you put 1,000 in and you make 3,000, you won. You know what I'm saying? You won. Everything's not gonna get you $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I have dudes that, I try to walk them in, set them up to get them deals, being who I am, Inspectah Deck, Wu-Tang, try to, your boys, you got to come back around the hood. Everybody's nice. Everybody do beats now. I'm trying to walk certain people in.
Wu Financial for real. Not the Chappelle show.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's trying to show... It's just trying to show love, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, but everybody ain't going to get the gist. And the other side of the fence is this shit ain't meant for everybody, man. You know how it goes. So it's 1 out of 1,000 might get to that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? One out of 1,000 might get to that Biggie Smalls or Tupac level, or, like Nipsey was on his way, rest in peace. You only get a handful, you know what I'm saying? And everybody don't make it to that level, but it's okay. It's okay, and I'm living proof of that, because shit, I would have loved to have sold X amount of million records, right? But I didn't, and I'm still good, because my success can't be measured to anything else. It's what's success for me. Me coming from
that's it right
sleeping,
there.
Yeah, me sleeping with 4 of us in the bed, sharing my brother's clothes growing up. I'm a 70s baby. We had it rough. We the roaches in the cereal box generation. Cause our parents weren't, they didn't receive the money to be, so smart with it. You know what I'm saying? So we grew up the poor way. And that's the difference now. That's why I can look at $1, going back to how I said my mom, growing up, my mom, she hulking us all three. Like she got some money, it's pretty much ours. I'm gonna be all right. I'm the working one, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take care of y'all. I got another check coming. And that mentality was just like something I adopted and kept with me. So it's like I'm amongst all of this savagery. I could be, if I was focused on chasing $1, bro, I would be in a different light right now. But, I took my money, took care of people that were close to me. Some people, deserved it, some didn't deserve it. But, God's blessing is that you just give, you give. You give, you shall receive. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You definitely shall receive. So I was, I'm fortunate enough to be in the shoes that I'm in, seeing the world, tasted different foods, like I said, seeing the finest women,
living life,
and with a lot of brothers on this, like, and you probably could attest to it. Like, you want your brother to see that and be able to taste that like you did. Like, if I can go back and grab my whole section, all my younger. My childhood friends say, hey, yo, come with me to fucking Paris. You'll come see the Eiffel Tower. And like you want that for everybody, but you can't, everybody can't have it. Everybody's not going to appreciate it. And then, you're only capable of doing so much in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They say save one,
That's right.
So, and that's what I try to do, man. Like, that's what I use my career for. I gave back. I donate. I do different things that you may never hear about, bro. But the Salvation Army and different people who know I donate, barrels of clothes every year. I do so much that goes unnoticed that I don't look for applause for. I'm cool with being off the radar. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm.
Well, you're on our radar. You're on the radar of the people whose radar you need to be on. That's that cultural currency that you have.
Exactly.
Yeah. I want to give a quick rest in peace to Old Dirty Bastard. We can't talk about the Wu-Tang without shouting out A-Sign Unique. You have any nuggets of wisdom or stories that you might want to share about ODB?
ODB, my relationship with ODB was different than everybody else's relationship in the clan, at least between me and the other person. But it's like for ODB, I was more the voice of reason. Like, okay, the angel and devil on your shoulder. I'm the angel dude because, a lot of times I used to think my brother would push it too far, or I used to think he was going to hurt himself or hurt somebody or just get into a situation where he was going to blow the opportunity. And that's what I cared about more with him. I knew he was wild and crazy, Brooklyn run through his veins, but bro, they love you. Yes. You got an opportunity. Like our mothers and fathers, our family did, like some of, like when I look at my family, I'm like, yo, man, I got doctors and cops and all types of people in my family, but they never had it at this level. Mm-hmm. So, like you're doing something at this tremendous level, bro. Like, you can feed your family. All you got to do is take it serious. Mm-hmm. And, he didn't want to hear that. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, Dad. I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's him. Him and U-God is same coin, bro. Old Dirty and U-God, same coin. U-God may be less vocal about it, but same. What are they both? I forget the damn sign. That zodiac shit. But
Jasmine thinks she's Miss Cleo. So
I am.
Oh yeah.
And if I would have had a second, I would have known the zodiac signs.
They both Scorpios. They both Scorpios. And me and him would get at it on that note. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll wait for the door, man, because I ain't want to let him out the door to go get some shit he wasn't supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, nah, I ain't move me out the way, wrestle me. You know what I'm saying? Throw me out the way. And it was that type of thing. And it's like, I guess that it happened so much that it's like he just started avoiding. Like, with Dex around. If I'm about to do some shit, we're going to do it over there. And, it's like more or less like, I saw something that was like, man, he's teaching me. He's teaching me because you got to learn, you have to learn a lot of not just discipline, self-control, but it's controlling certain urges. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, looking at my brother's life, in retrospect, it's unfortunate, but it helped. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it opened our eyes to let us know, like, yo, any one of us can happen to. We're not untouchable. We got to stay in tune with each other. We got to check up and make sure we all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let this money get in the way or blind us to the point where it's like, yo, I can't call your ghost. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Your wizard, what's up? We all grown now. We got families. Brothers are scattered all over the place. You know what I'm saying? When the W comes up, we all form to make it happen. But on that off time, a lot of us are so scattered around that you tend to be like, damn, I ain't spoke to Meth in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just made us more conscious to be like, yo, let's tap in with each other,
Word is bond.
Yeah.
Shout out to old Dirty Bastard's son.
Yeah, rest in peace to Young Dirty, Bar's son. Yeah.
Yeah, word is bond. So I'm looking forward to listening to Knife Chamber, in a big real way. And but I'm also excited about the possibility of From Pawn to King, the book. Is that still gonna be a thing?
That's definitely gonna be a thing, man. From Pawn to King. And
we need that.
It's basically describing what I just like our conversation right now. Born in the 70s, Bronx, poor section, moved to Staten Island, ain't have a whole lot of shit. Pops died at 6. It's like you kind of look at your cars and you feel like you ain't like, like why? Like, why is this that shit happen to me? Or, you wondering why things happen, but it's a story of you keep pushing across that board. When a pawn becomes a king, it's really saying the pawn reaches the other side of the table. You have all power. You can choose to be what you want to be. So, that's what it's really about. It's like, yo, I started out in this as a pawn. Like, I guess, I was hot and, I built up a business and, like to this day, I don't own any Wu-Tang music. So, it's one of them situations, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like you learn in the process, okay, now I'm Ray Charles now. That don't feel like $100, with my eyes closed. Right. It's too light. So it makes you aware and it teaches you these things, you know what I'm saying? And I don't regret none of the experiences I went through with the clan or even in my solo career, because what's meant to be will be. You know what I'm saying? As Amen. I said, my success came from, me being able to get that first check and sign it over to my mom. You know what I'm saying? And the look on her face, raising 3 kids all her life, it ain't never seen that type of money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that shit is more than me driving the Mercedes up and down the block, flashing in front of y'all niggas. Yeah. As soon as I turn my back, y'all, he come back around here again?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's my Mercedes.
Yeah, I if I flash a Mercedes, bro, I flash a Mercedes, but I'm not a flashy dude, so my intention ain't to come around you and make you feel bad with my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what it is. It could be this shit. It could be a chain. Your shit could be 10 times lighter. I'm like, I like that too, bro. That's hot.
Right,
you know
right.
What I'm saying? I got one that's similar to that. So,
right.
I'm in that culture now, bro. We in such a cancel culture that I'm in a culture where I'm in the embrace culture, man.
Yeah.
Let's start like embracing each other. Yeah, bro, because we all got flaws. We all came from somewhere, man. Like, your path came from this way, mine came from this way, but we collided right here. And whatever happened, whatever energy spent at that moment is that moment, and then we continue on. You know what I'm saying? And in each encounter, you have to give that. You know what I'm saying? You have to radiate that positivity, and that's just in my world. And I think that's how you can get peace with yourself. You may not have peace in the world. You ain't gonna get world peace like that, but universal peace to me is better than world peace. Because if you have peace with yourself, man, things become easier. You think clearer. You make better decisions. I had to learn all that the hard way. I've been a rebel for my whole career. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Making more noise than heavy metal.
Yeah, you gotta make songs for the women. You gotta make these radio. You gotta do. Nah, fuck that. I want to make this joint called the stereo. I want to make the stereotype. You got enough ladies men out there. You know what I'm saying? You got enough gangsters. I don't gotta shoot nobody. They gonna shoot you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm sticking to my guns of hip hop. So when I heard Big Daddy Kane say, "Let it roll, get bold. I just can't hold back. So I'm a man with total control and effects of what the heck, rock the discotheque.
It grooves.
You know what I mean? And then, and then if you was in the party, here come your dance move. You know,
right?
I'm from that, bro.
Right.
So you know,
right. Scoop lover, my brother. Scrap lover, the other.
Yeah, I want to give y'all that. I want to give y'all that energy of that when I rap. You know, so it's like. You know, back when Ed Love and Dr. Dre would play that 1-900 number beat.
Yeah, Ed Love would do this
45 King, dance. And he'd do his dance. That's how Yo MTV Raps would start off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That type of energy in music, you know what I'm saying, is what I try to give back, like as a person now, man. Because you know, I was known to be abrasive. I was known to be hard to deal with. Can't talk to him. You know, he's reclusive, he's narcissistic. I've been called every word. Like when it comes to like being in offices and trying to negotiate deals, and I'm trying to discuss my life, like, yo,
right,
this is how I want it. Like, it's not, I'm not trying to be a problematic, give you no type of static, but it's like, bro, if I can't have this way at this stage, then I'd rather not, you know, I'd rather not indulge, I'd rather not deal, you know, and, you know, that's just how I am right now. So I said I'm not going to sign any more major deals and just give away all my rights and ownerships and things of that nature. You know, I put out an album, sell 50,000 copies. You may never saw the video. I still made that $500,000. You know, I wasn't on the Summer Jam stage. Still made that $500,000.
Right.
So
ain't no middleman. We got this now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
because we don't have to pay for the middleman. We know better now. We know what's up now.
Exactly. You got one or two people you pay for, man. 20% of that may go over there. But if I'm walking away with 80% of that, like I don't got to argue with nobody. I could continue to do what I do, and at the same time, like I could still walk in Walmart and nobody know it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of enjoy that because you know I got young kids and I enjoy being out with my kids and they spot me. People. You know, some people think, "Oh, I see you with the kids." All right. You know, they don't want to disrespect. Other people I'm just another dude passing by. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I love the anonymity, the mysteriousness of being who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cloak and dagger, but I can also, you know, I could pull the Thor hammer out at any time. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So
no doubt, man. Well, look. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for spending your time and your energy with us.
Yes.
What you have contributed to hip hop cannot be overstated. You're so important to the culture, brother. And man, it's been a pleasure getting your perspective on all these things. Thank you for all the jewels and gems.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. Like, you know, much more success to you, brother. And hopefully I can come back when I get this next project popping off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and hopefully we do it in person.
Yeah, hopefully, right? We get back to
the
new normal. We get back to the new normal. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
All right. I appreciate y'all, man. Salute. And definitely pleasure.
The People's
Thanks
Party.
for having me.
The People's Party salutes. Inspectah Deck. Word is on.
Yeah, watching the People's Party. Yes, sir.
Yes.